All right, good morning, party people. So, our SuperStation Ones and our Misters, they're fantastic, are they not? The thing that I wish I would have known earlier is how to properly use a hard drive with them. I feel like the data isn't there. And maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Please tell me in the comments if I'm off base. But I looked around. I even asked help for on some forums, and basically I was told, "Don't do it. Don't do it. It can't be done." And maybe they weren't understanding my question. I asked, hey, how can I run my cores off of a hard drive? Well, that question I know is flawed right now. But the way to do it is to have your cores on your SD card like normal, but have your games stored on an external hard drive. The reason I'm bringing this up now, particularly with the SuperStation One, is because of PlayStation games, Sega Saturn games, Neo Geo CD games. Those games are huge, and instead of investing in a large SD card that might fail anyway, I've had pretty bad track record lately with SD cards. I can use an old hard drive that I have floating around. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It doesn't need to be a solid state or anything. Just a platter hard drive. I'm having a great deal of success doing this. Right now, I have two of them. I have a Western Digital, and I believe a Seagate or a Toshiba external drive. They're 1 terabyte in size. I formatted them to exFAT, and that's the big thing, exFAT. So let's go in here real quick. So when you go to console, let's just pick PlayStation because I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller at the moment. Let's just go to PlayStation. When it boots up, it's going to recognize where I was. Well, I am sitting on let's go out. Sitting on USB 0. So right now, my SuperStation One, and I'll put a picture of it coming up. The SuperStation One has just got hard drive, a 1 terabyte hard drive hanging out the back of it. My SD card is only used for some small things and my cores. Okay, the big thing that I wish people would have told me or I could have found out sooner was when I'm storing games on here that there's a couple nuances that I need to be aware of. Okay. Here we go. We're running on a hard drive. I haven't been able to notice any speed issues, any loading issues, any latency. Everything just works. Running from an external hard drive plugged into the back. I would assume a large USB key would work as well. Memory stick. I'm going to assume all that would work just the same. Let's let this load here. I want to prove to you that it does work. Just bloody, what did I pick? Bloody Roar 2. All its greatness.
Bloody Roar 2, the new breed.
Loads up just fine. Works just the same. No issues. There's no reason for me to go buy a 1 terabyte SD card or a 512 gig SD card because they're getting expensive again. My SuperStation One came with a 64 gig. It works. I'm just gonna leave it until it dies because no doubt gonna die on me. Back. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do this. Some of the nuances that I run into, okay, or have figured out on my own. So I have I'm using the Mr. Companion, so right here, and I'm opening it in Explorer just to show you guys the file structure. A little easier this way. So my file structure, again, is you have your SD card, and my USB 0 is my 1 terabyte external hard drive. Okay. And I just put in my large ROM files in here. So 3DO, CDI, I got the like pretty a huge library of GBA, stuff like that, Jaguar. There's some of these are huge, 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 huge files. And I just figured, why would I load up my SD card or worry about running out of space when I can just have them in here? The thing that people didn't tell me and I couldn't figure out is you need to have your BIOS files in the folder with your games. I was putting all my games out here, okay? They weren't working. So what I did is I took whatever was in my SD card. Those are under. I was taking them out of here, and I was just grabbing this item. Okay, that is the BIOS file for them. You need to have that with your games. Okay? You can't take your games and put them on a different folder as your BIOS file. I didn't know that early on. I wish somebody would have told me. It would have made my life a lot easier. So yeah, now I have an external 1 terabyte hard drive that houses, I don't know, what are we at now? I don't remember what we're at, but I think it's like 300 gig of games right now in here, because it's got a huge library of 64, GBA, NES, Super Nintendo. Those don't take up that much space, but the Saturn games and the PlayStation games, they could be like a gig each when you're downloading them and stuff. They're huge, and if you have a decent amount of them, it adds up in space. So that's one thing I don't hear anyone talk about. I hear people talk about replacing their SD card with bigger ones and stuff. But if you got old hard drives laying around, I did. Luckily, I got like 6, 7 old hard drives floating around, external hard drives from yesteryear. They work. They work just fine. And the performance is great and it's cheap, especially if you already have it. But even if you don't, a cheap hard drive is going to be very reasonable to acquire. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that briefly. That you can just plug in a hard drive, make your ROM files, folders, the same naming convention. And I guess you don't have to. Um, and then just drop in your games along with all your BIOS files and everything. So that's the big thing that I wish somebody would have told me sooner. I think I've said that like 4 times now, but I hope this helps somebody because it's really the way to go. I got 2 of them now. I got one for my Mister, and then I got one for my SuperStation One. So I can just go wherever I need. All right, you guys take care. Keep playing.